What is a tariff? Imagine you're treating yourself to something from abroad, a shiny phone from China or a trendy shirt for Vietnam. But oh, wait, the government steps in like a nosy toll collector at a toll booth, saying, not so fast. That'll be $10 extra for every $100 worth of stuff. Congratulations, you've just met a tariff. It's like the government decided imports were a great way to play dress up as a greedy monopoly player. So, your $100 worth of toys is now $110. Who picks up the tab for this charming fee? Usually, the company importing the goods. But being the generous souls they are, they often just slap that extra cost on the retail price. Guess who ends up paying more at the store? You. Wow. You're basically helping the government fund its next round of road construction, or, let's be honest, whatever vague budget black hole it needs filling. Why do tariffs exist? Two shiny reasons. First, it's a superhero cape for local businesses. With foreign goods priced higher, maybe you'll think twice and buy the shirt made here instead. Let's call it patriotic shopping. Second, the government gets money from those fees like billions of dollars to spend on roads or fund some politician's private jet. That's right, tariffs are like their secret money printing machine, except less subtle and more annoying. So there you have it. Tariffs. That's a tariff. An extra cost on foreign goodies to protect us or just to make us broke. Genius, right? Isn't international trade just delightful? So, now that we know a tariff is basically the government's way of shaking down your wallet on stuff from other countries, let's talk about Trump's big brain idea, his tariff equation. Yep, in April 2025, Trump rolled out what he calls the Liberation Day tariffs. Sound cool, right? He even waved around a giant chart in the White House Rose Garden like it was some sacred treasure map. The pitch: these tariffs are reciprocal, a fancy word for we're just copying what other countries do to us. Except, not really. Let's crack open this so-called equation and see what's inside. First, the basics. Trump's team dropped this on April 2nd, 2025, a 10% tariff on everything coming into the U.S. Socks, phones, penguin-shaped ice cubes from Antarctica, you name it. That's the starting line. Then, for about 60 countries that sell us more stuff than we sell them, like China, the European countries, Vietnam, they get hit with extra tariffs anywhere from 20% to 50%. China's at 34%, Vietnam's at 46%. Even tiny St. Pierre and Miquelon got a 50% slap. Why? Trump says it's because they're ripping us off. But here's where the sarcasm kicks in. The equation they cooked up to justify this? It's less science and more vibes. Here's the deal, straight from the U.S. Trade Representative's website. And don't worry, I'll spare you the nerdy Greek letters they threw in to look smart. Step 1. Take the trade deficit with a country. That's how much more we buy from them than they buy from us. Say it's $100 million. Step 2. Divide that by the total value of what we import from them. Let's call it $200 million. That's 50%. Step 3. Cut it in half because Trump says he's being kind. So, 25%. Boom, that's the tariff. Oh, and if it's less than 10%, it bumps up to 10% anyway, because why not? That's it. No fancy calculators. No deep dive into what those countries actually charge us, just deficits, division, and a shrug. Let's try it with China. We imported $439 billion from them last year, sold them $144 billion back. Deficit's $295 billion. Divide that by $439 billion, you get about 67%. Have it, and voila, 34%. That's China's tariff. The European countries? Smaller deficit, lands at 20%. The UK? No deficit, still gets 10%. See the pattern? It's not about what they charge us. It's about punishing countries we buy too much from. Economists are losing their minds over this. They're like, wait, The European countries only charges us 2.7% on average, not 39%. But Trump's team doesn't care. It's not reciprocal. It's a deficit, smashing sledgehammer. So what's the point? Trump's obsessed with trade deficits. He thinks they mean we're losing. His equation's supposed to scare us into buying American by making foreign stuff pricier. Noble, maybe, but here's the sarcastic truth. It's so simple a toddler could have scribbled it on a napkin. And yet, it's about to turn your shopping cart into a luxury splurge. Genius or chaos? You tell me. Impact of tariffs. So, what happens when these tariffs start to roll out? While Trump's Liberation Day tariffs might sound like a win, the reality is more complicated. These tariffs will affect everything from the price of your groceries to that new phone you've been eyeing. First up, higher prices. The 10% baseline tariff on all imports means everything gets more expensive. Whether it's your coffee or a new laptop, suppliers will pass on the cost. A $50 hoodie could jump to $55 or more in foreign-made cars. Expect a price hike. Then there's retaliation. Other countries aren't likely to sit idly by. If China or the EU retaliates by taxing U.S. products, industries like agriculture and luxury goods could suffer. U.S. farmers might see lower demand for their exports, while distilleries could face tariffs on bourbon. Global supply chains will also be impacted. Many U.S. companies rely on affordable foreign components. If tariffs make those materials more expensive, the cost to produce goods in the U.S. rises. This could lead to reduced production and higher prices for consumers. On the job front, the idea was to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. But rising production costs might make it cheaper for companies to move operations overseas again, leading to potential job losses. Internationally, Trump's tariffs could cause fallout. Countries might seek new trade partners, weakening U.S. global influence. They may strike deals with China or others, shifting global trade dynamics. Finally, inflation could rise. As prices climb, your paycheck might not stretch as far, slowing down consumer spending and hurting the economy. In the end, these tariffs may give Trump short-term wins, but for consumers, they mean higher prices. While meant to boost American industries, they'll likely burden the average person with steeper costs.